Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Aurora 4X. Our search for the elusive precursors has finally been successful, and the reason for this success will force me to rethink my entire fleet composition planning, because it seems like the game will no longer enable me to use sensors from inside hangars. I've first seen this from another game I'm currently playing, that I was unable to see enemy ships which should have been in range actively, and this is most likely the reason why we have not found our precursor friends, because I expected them to home in onto our active sensor signals, but if there are no active sensor signals, since the fleet or the sensor ships are inside the hangar, they have nothing to home into. So this means my original build-up strategy is screwed. We will need a dedicated sensor ship, and for this I've constructed the Bismarck class cruiser with all the sensors we currently have, and since its size and the active emissions will make it a very big target for the enemy, I gave it 10 layers of armor here, in addition to some Gauss turret point defense. I was even thinking about using Seavis on this craft, but in the end decided against it. I'll try to have 2 of the Bismarck classes in each carrier task group, so 6 Gauss turrets in addition to anything the Blücher classes are carrying should hopefully be enough to deal with any missiles, and if some get through, 10 layers of armor should be able to take care of a couple of leakers. But due to the sensor problem, I now have the problem that I have to have some sensor fighters always outside of the ship, as long as we are trying to engage those nice aliens. So let's see what happens. And in order to not spend ages with this fight here, I'll activate the Spacetime-Bubble, which means only in Duisburg time will be still progressing. In every system or in every other system, nothing will happen at all, which should help with finishing this fight faster. So let's see what our friends are doing here. Vanishing. Okay, interesting. Exactly why? I know why, because I've removed our long-range sensor, which is kind of proof for my hypothesis that sensors are the problem here. I only have a medium range and a higher developed, higher tech short-range sensor out at the moment. But we will need the higher tech long range sensor as well. Split task group, join. This should bring them back. Here we are. Okay, so that's a problem. Let's see what they are doing. what I've expected. Either I would have expected them moving away from us and firing missiles, or moving to us in order to engage us if they were beamcraft, but moving at a essentially right angle to us is surprising. Minutes, so unlikely that they are firing missiles. Anything else? No. Let's see where they're actually heading. Nowhere. Okay. And due to the ships only having our short-ranged anti-ship missiles, launching the Eagles would do pretty much nothing at all. Now they start to run. So it seems like, let's see, they are trying to avoid our size 18 sensors. I have no idea exactly why. I've fire controlled this, and this is actually quite smart, since at the moment we are simply not able to fire at them. Please don't tell me that this will continue. But it looks like it. Let's see if we can do anything with our fleet initiative here. 147 is unlikely to really help. This behavior is quite strange. I would have expected them, as I mentioned, either to outright run or to close in with us, but not trying to stay at a range of about 30 million. Let's see what happens when I recall the fighters, except me being no longer able to see anything. And then using no active sensors themselves, this is strange as well. Waiting acknowledgement, yeah, sure, because you are not fully trained up. At least the higher tech ships are green. At least if I recall correctly. Ah, they're still outside, okay. Okay, let's lower the initiative of the main fleet down to 99 so that they are able to dock. What is this? They've lost their orders, most likely. Yep, no orders. Sometimes the game tries everything to be a Major pain in the ass. As I thought, no longer any contacts. Maybe we are able to lure them closer this way. 45 seconds. Might have been a missile launch. Unlikely. One minute. Something is happening, but it's somewhat unsatisfying. So let's release the censorship. Wrong one. And let's see if it will react to the censorship staying in place while the rest of the fleet is still moving. We should be able to see them. Here they are, and they are close, very close. Okay, since I'm a tad tired of playing games with them, let's release everything and send some missiles their way. I hate wasting missiles, but I'm afraid otherwise we would be running after them for the next few hours. So let's stop the fleet. I want everybody at the same spot here. Task groups. Join. And let's take care of our weapons. Have I assigned? Yeah, those weapons are all assigned. That's good. No, not everything is assigned. So point blank defense, yeah, that's right. Let's copy this to all the ships. That's looking good. Eagles, assign missiles to every launcher, assign the launchers to the fire controls. We do have 7 Eagles, so let's assign. Forgotten to copy the weapon assignments. This looks better. 2 flights of missiles for each of them, and 3 flights for the... Let's make it the first. Open fire. Assigning the lasers here, and assigning Gauss cannon to final defensive fire as well. Okay, here we go. Missiles are away. Okay, and I'm back. Had to mute you guys for a moment because the belts here were tolling. Still waiting for acknowledgement. They're moving away from us. So let's start to follow them again. We want 99, that's fine. Contacts for follow, okay. And our sensor ships and fighters will follow the fleet. Follow, and our missile ships. I'm not sure if they stay in fire control mode if I move them to the hangar now, and I'm not inclined to test it here. So everybody stays outside. It looks like they're firing. Mm, 30-second ticks. Yeah, quite likely. Then we'll be able to see if our missile defenses are good enough to deal with those missiles. So let's check again. Point defense mode. We do have 20 turrets, 20 quad turrets, so 80 guns with 3 shots each, so 240 shots should be versus 30. Yeah, it should work. I'm slightly optimistic. What kind of missile are we facing here? Size 5. 5 of them, so overall 15 missiles. We do have more than enough fire controls, and we should have... those are the older Blüchers. Those are the older Blüchers. So let's take a look at what they are actually, wrong one again, capable of doing. Tracking speed 12,000, those are full. Oh, and just... no, 3 shots, that's right. Yeah, I'm still optimistic that they should be able to deal with those missiles. Five destroyed, 5 destroyed, 5 destroyed. Great. To hit chance 70%. The Falke has a very good chance to hit. Nice. Modified overall close to 40% hit chance, so they will not be able to touch us. Yep. We'll take it a tad slow here. Sometimes if you're moving or if you use too large increments, it might happen that the point defense failed to do an intercept, and this would be bad. Let's try auto turns here. Yep. So our missiles are getting closer as well. And once we have depleted their magazines, I'll send out our beam FACs, who should take care of anything that remains after this flight of missiles hits. But experience tells they can have quite deep magazines, so this might be going on for some time. Now it will get interesting. Here we go. They have point defense weapons as well, at least 5 of them. Overall, they evaded or destroyed 50% of our missiles. So let's make a little note about our friends here. Precursors. Cool. They have 5 size 5 missiles at 30k. They have at least 5-point defense. And due to our hits, we know that they have an armor of at least 3. Okay. Let's take a closer look at the combat logs here. Our missiles have a chance to hit of 54%. Missed, okay. And we already know this, so let's continue. One of them seemed to have been slowed down from the hits, the others are still moving at full speed. In order to pull off the same stunt with invaders, we need a lot more turrets, or preferably better tracking speed. But this is mainly how I plan to use this fleet. Get rid of the enemy missiles, and once they have exhausted their magazines, send in the beam fighters. But I still have missiles here. Oh, by the way, we can do this between hits just to be sure that our fighter bombers are not actually targeted. So let's bring back the fighter bombers into the hangars. In addition to those two who are not needed. Who are the lobbies? The high level ones, so there should be no No delay in carrying out those orders, and their initiative is higher than our fleet, so no reason to change the fleet initiative. Yeah, those are okay. Have I ordered ceasefire? Yeah, I did. Okay. They've completed orders, that's nice. More missiles. And it looks like they ran out of missiles. That's nice. So let's send in the beam ships. And now you are not ordered to follow the fleet, but I want you to move out and intercept our friends. But for this I need the short-ranged, and we'll split off the beam fighters. Let's rename it for the moment. Beam. Beam will get the Kriya as well. Delete the empty task force, yeah, or task group. And beam will move to our friends. Follow, let's try 50k of distance. Highest possible initiative. Now they're getting close to us, and we will try to deal with those guys closest to us first. So this would be the number 4. I renamed them, yeah. Remove contacts. For follow at 50,000. It didn't accept the order. It should have, I'm just simply not seeing it here. So let's get a little bit closer to see our weapons range. They've activated their sensors. Pre-short-ranged sensors. But I hope that they would have used AMMs if they had any on us. AMMs is always a gamble when using beam fighters, because under optimal conditions I would have liked to get closer with our complete fleet in order to deal with anti-missile missiles, but due to them having better speed than us, this was not really an option. So let's see how far away they are. 200, still too much. I don't want to shoot at those ranges. This does look good. So let's target number 3 at first. 36,000. Copy to all ships in the fleet. Yeah, it did work, and open fire. And I order them to follow at point blank range. If they have Gauss, let's stick to 31k. This will raise our damage, improve our to hit chances, and if they're using standard Gauss, they are unable to hit us. I want to follow number 4. Okay, let's see what happens here. 3 strength 9 energy hits on our friends. Yeah, this should hurt. Everything hit them. Hit chances around 55%. No, base chance to hit. That's, yeah. Should have been improved by crew grade, I think. Yeah, exactly. Up to 100 and then brought down by electronic warfare, their ECMs, to around 55. Okay, essentially our fire controls and crew grade and their ECMs are effectively cancelling each other. So now we will need 160 seconds. Let's see. Rate of fire 25. No, about 30 seconds before we're able to fire again. So let's move. 2 hits this time. And they don't. And there we have a wreck. Bye bye, Mr. Mirkul. Let's grab a new target, the number 4. Assign to all similar ships in the fleet. Quick check. Yep. And let's move into point blank range. They do have some armor, so if they are able to fire at us, I'm confident that we can take at least 1 hit. Especially since there's only 1 ship left now. But let's do this slow. Yeah, reloading, I know. Let's get a little bit closer here. Lasers loading up. Maximum damage. No return fire. Oh, that's nice. 70% to hit. Oh, they're attempting to ram us. Pure desperation. But since I would hate to be rammed by them, let's move out again. We did our max damage and had fairly good chances to hit at 31k. So we will move back to 31k. Still alive, hardy little ship. Destroyed. That's nice. And where is the last one? Over here. So let's pick our beam fleet, send it to the last ship at a distance of, let's make it 10k. Hold fire for now. Ceasefire. We can target it already. Assign target. It did work, yep. Our main fleet is following the number 4, so we would get tons of arrows now that their following target has been destroyed. It's a thing I've seen in quite a number of Let's Plays as well. People wondering why they're getting 5 seconds interrupts, essentially because a target, either for a weapon or for a move order, is no longer around. So let's switch targets here. Contacts, follow, move to, not move to, let's make it a follow. It's pretty much the same in this case, but let's stick with follow. So how long do we need till we are in range? A little bit, but not that much. Here we go. Open fire. Yep. Attempting to ram again. Okay, let's again increase the range. No reason to take unnecessary risks here. The only thing it will do is it will take longer. We should be in safe range now. Yeah. We missed. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that can take quite some punishment here. I don't even want to think about how many missiles I would have to waste on them. Most likely another 70. And I hate the costs this would mean in the end. So we've destroyed ourselves 3 precursor ships. This is very nice. So let's move back to our carrier. Land on assigned mothership. The carrier will stop moving for now. And most importantly, don't forget to hold fire. Otherwise we'll get tons of interrupts here as well. Let's continue for 1 hour. Beam has completed orders. Let's recall our sensor craft as well. Land on assigned mothership. Very nice. Okay, now where are our savages? Or is our savage? There's just one of them. Parked right here. Okay, so it will be trapped with us in here, but it was fueled up by the tug, so we have a lot of time. 180 days left to go. Okay. Not what I really wanted, but we can, or we will survive waiting for another 180 days, I think. We want wrecks. We want to salvage. And since this is a large transport, there should be no problem concerning cargo space when salvaging them. In the meantime, the Kara task force will move back to the Osnabrück jump gate, and we will I'll just move there and explain a couple of things about jump gate jump point assaults. Once we get there, I should have deactivated the space-time-bubble, otherwise our ships are unable to even enter the system. So now everything should be back to normal. Yeah, the game is really slow enough again. Very slow. There we go. Okay, I pause till we get to the jump point. Okay, here we are. Essentially, in my opinion, there are two ways to assault jump point, jump gate. It's always best if you have a military jump ship, which is able to jump your fleet through, because via military jump or squadron jump you are getting largely reduced sensor and fire control downtimes after jump, roughly something about 30 seconds to a minute instead of 2 minutes plus, which you will get when jumping through a gate or using a commercial jump, or a standard jump, let's call it this way, instead of a squadron jump. The best possibility, or the best way to do it in my opinion, is using a heavily armored ship. Most likely with Seavis. I've never actually used it, but I can imagine Seavis being quite useful here. Something like the Bismarck, but with just the short range or low resolution, resolution 1 sensor, and instead of the other sensors, additional armor, since its main job will be to soak up damage if there are any enemies behind the jump gate, and then move away from the gate as quickly as possible, hopefully luring the enemies with it. And once the enemies are far enough away from the jump gate, jump in the rest of the fleet and hopefully destroy the enemy fleet before our bait here is destroyed. The second possibility, which is what I will be doing here, is taking a look at the ships we have in our fleet and look for small bait ship which is expendable and send it through. If it survives, the jump point is clear. If it gets killed, we know that enemies are sitting at the jump point, and then in this case I would be able to either sacrifice our Bifrost and move it to the jump gate in order to lure the enemy fleet away, or simply wait and send in more and more potentially expendable ships till we find a gap in their defenses and are able to send in our fleet without being fired upon immediately, without being able to fire back. But I will do this the next time, because we are already above 35 minutes with this recording again, and since I will travel mainly to the second planet of the Osnabrück system, park there, send out our sensor ships in order to lure the potential precursors to us, if there is not a base of them in orbit of this planet anyway, and I will continue this with all the other planets, which might turn out to be quite boring, but at least it will take up a lot of time. So I will do this next time, or if nothing happens, I will not even record it. So, okay, we backed ourselves some Precursors, the first combat I think actually in this Let's Play. And therefore, thank you for watching, bye bye.